Okay, let's try that again. Haha. Welcome to the Hungry Binder. I've got. There we go. That's better. Sorry. This is my first live stream. If you are here, leave a hello. Sorry, I'm still getting things used to. Just give me a second. Hopefully this doesn't shut everything. And it does. Let's see. Ah! And we're black. Okay. And we're black from outer space. Hey, so much better. Okay. There we go. Okay, welcome to the Hungry Binder. So this channel is going to be kind of interesting and cool. I don't need to hear myself talk. That's going to get annoying fast. This channel is going to be interesting and cool. A binder, for those of you who don't know, and if you do, please let me know. Didn't tell me to shut up. Is this big thing. I've got 3 of these right now. Each one fits a maximum of 1,284, I believe. I am on a quest. All right, so a bunch of YouTube channels that I watched, a bunch of stuff that I watched said when you get started collecting Pokemon, you don't just start off right away. So don't just start collecting everything, have a plan. So I started off with a plan. My first plan was, collect just a couple. And then get my little daughter interested, get my nephew who was already interested, but add like 100 counterfeit cards, so I was trying to get him. So I started with, some of my favorites. Squirtle, my absolute favorite. See? Squirtle. Eevee, because it's Eevee. I was going to do Pikachu, but it's overrated. Not really overrated, overdone. Pikachu is overdone. And there were a couple others, and I realized one of them was a starter. So I had 4 total, and 3 of them rather, were starters. And I said, rather than just collecting like maybe a couple cards many of them were going to be hard to get to, especially like the older ones. I'm already collecting 4 starters. Why don't I collect more? Now, I've loved the games. I played, I think, Gen 1 through 3. I then started X and Y, and then my ex-girlfriend accidentally washed my 3DS in the laundry machine and killed it, and I didn't get a new 3DS, and then I started playing again on the Switch. So I love the games. So as we go through, I'll tell you which starter I chose and which ones I wish I chose, because that's a thing. But I decided to collect all the starters. And then a friend of mine said, well, what about Pikachu because of Yellow? I was thinking, let's go Pikachu. I completely forgot about Yellow because I had friends who played Yellow back then. I played Red. Yeah, I played Red on the original Game Boy. That's how old I am. And so if you're in the chat, let me know, and let me know what you think. Who's your favorite starter? We're going to get started. All right, so on today's event, the reason for this stream is I am going to start loading up these binders. With these little cards. These are my placeholders. In total, there are 83 starters. 3 for each generation, and then 9 for each generation, really. So 3 starters and each of their evolutions. That's right. I'm a little crazy on this. So I'm not just doing the 3 starters you get to choose, but also each one of their evolutions. So that's 9 per generation. 9 generations is 81. Plus Pikachu and Eevee is 83. That is a total of, at time of this live stream, because Ascended Heroes is not out yet, and I'm a little afraid of what Ascended Heroes is going to bring me. But at the time of this recording, at the time of this live stream, there are 3,107 roughly um, cards. And while I know I'm not going to get them all in a short period of time, we are going to try. Also on this live stream, I'm going to open up a couple of packs. Let me show you. See? We've got a couple of Japanese packs, a couple of Trick or Trade packs, and we have one Phantasmal Flames, which we will open up at the end and hope that there is something we can put in there. I'm going to be live streaming and posting videos about once a week, as well as I'm going to be doing pack openings every few days. I'm also going to be doing product openings and going through those, as well as be giving updates. If you have any questions of what I'm doing, please leave a message and let me know. I hear my daughter crying, so I'm going to go check on her, and when we come back, we're going to get started. So welcome to the Happy Binder. Oh, eating. Oh, that didn't work. That's a shame. Welcome to the Happy Binder, and we'll be back in a few minutes. And we're back. All right. Thank you for being here. Just need to set one thing up, and we are going to be on a roll. Whatever, it's fine. All right, so let's start off with a Japanese pack opening. All right. So when I started collecting Pokemon, I collected a few almost 10 years ago. I was living in Korea and I started collecting them then. And Korean packs are very similar to Japanese packs, but so we have nothing in here that fits us, although I am trying to convince my wife to collect Meowths because she loves cats. So I've got one for her. Not too sure. Is that a cat? Let me know. That's a frog. Anyway, let me know what you think. So we're going to get started on this. So the other thing, and I can share with you if you want my current layout, I printed out books to know exactly where each card goes. So I'm going to be following these as I go. So the first binder is just Gen 1 because there are so it's just Gen 1 and Eevee and Pikachu, and there are a lot of Pikachus. So there are roughly 1,060 cards that go into this first binder, and then binders 2 is Gens 1 through 6, and binder 7 is binder 3 is Gen 3, 4, and 5. So let's get started on these. Bulbasaur, that's 2, 2, and that's 3. All right. This is going to take all night long, so let's have some fun. We're only going to stream for a few hours, and that's going to be good. I'm going to have a ticker on the screen, as you see in that corner, the 0/3107. I'm going to be counting, not how many cards I get. That counter in the future will be how many cards I have. But for right now, I'm going to be counting how many placeholders I have in place. So let's get started. I spent so long working on these. So, all right, let's get started. So why Pokemon? Somebody asked me the other day, why Pokemon? It is because I collected Magic for most of my life. I bought my first pack. I didn't buy my first pack. I was given my first pack in December of 1994. I remember because I was in 5th grade. Do the math, figure out how old I am. And it was a white elephant, and there was a bully and a cool kid. And the bully wanted to be best friends with the cool kid. And the cool kid was already into Magic. And so all the kids wanted to be into Magic. And there were 3 packs of, it was either revised or unlimited in the white elephant, and I got picked before him, so I chose those, and it was like, you know, a 10-year-old's white elephant, so like you couldn't steal from each other, because, you know, that would have just been mean and wrong and taught kids to be stealing. Anyway, so yeah, so these guys, so that's how I remember that. So I got those 3 packs. I think in those 3 packs, 3 Crawlworms. I got a Crawlworm in each. For the longest time, that was my favorite card because that card was ridiculous, at least for a 10-year-old who had no idea what the game meant. That's what I thought. And I played it up until a few years ago. I still have my decks, but when I left Korea during COVID, it was really hard to find a new community. All right, 1 page done. And so 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All right. It's really hard to find a community. And so because I couldn't find a community, I decided to stop playing. Which is my fault. I should have kept playing. But it also got really expensive. And my girlfriend at the time, who is now my wife, wanted to move into a new apartment that was slightly out of our budget. So I said, you know what? I'm going to give up buying random packs and buying product and saving it. so that we can afford this, especially because I wasn't playing. Also, the few times I went to play, when I was living in Korea, it was all adults who would play. It was all 20, 30-year-olds, 20, 30, 40-year-olds. And so, well, let's show you this. That's not the best of views. See if I can fix that a little. Aha. 20, 30, 40-year-olds who were playing, and so it was all adults. Actually, we used to play in a pizza bar. It was a bar that sold, it was a pizza place that was, it was, whether you ask the owner, he said it was a pizza place. You asked that served alcohol. If you asked the wife, it was a bar that served pizza. But they were good friends, so we would play there once a week. And so there weren't a lot of kids. There was one little kid who we got him and his dad into the game, and that was a lot of fun. But there weren't really a lot of kids. And then I left Korea, and it feels like it's only all kids. And I say that as I start collecting Pokemon. But the game also felt like it changed. So I've been wanting to get into Pokemon for a while. I've been watching a lot of content. I've been making my other content that just wasn't going anywhere. So I decided, you know what? Let's try this. Let's start collecting. I found my nephew's cards, and it kind of gave me the urge. I also started watching a lot of Pokemon YouTube. But so that's how I did it. If you're in the chat, let me know. Say hi. Give me a shout out. And we're just loading up binders. It's going to be fun. We're going to have some fun recording weekly. You can join me. We're going to do We're going to do a few shorts. We're going to do a few big product openings. It was my birthday last week, so I bought a lot of stuff for this project under the guise of it was a birthday present to me, but it was really for this project, which is also a birthday present to me. Okay, we are almost at 50. Once I hit 49, I will put this in the next one. And the reason I'm doing this is so that I don't have to check the books every time I buy a new card. I'm going to take the books, rather than taking these big binders with me, you see, like the binder's huge. Rather than taking the big binder with me, I'm going to 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. I'm just going to take the books with me. That way I can flip through the books. I've got a huge document list that I can also search up when I'm going. Somebody asked me, do I want to sleeve up these cards because they're small? I'm like, no, I've got enough sleeves. I'm going to sleeve up the cards, which next week, if you're interested, let me know. All one viewer of you. I will be doing my first binder update and my first couple hauls to a couple card shows, and I bought the most I've ever spent on a single card, I believe, in any TCG. So I got really into Magic so here's my shame. I did not get into Pokemon when I was a kid. I was a Magic snob. I will admit I was wrong. It was 2000. I was a junior. He was a senior. So yeah, it was 2000, 2001. And the kid who was getting me into a bunch of other games like Legend of the Five Rings and other things, he wanted to get into Pokemon, and I was a 16, 17-year-old. I guess it was 2000. I was a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, 16, 2001, 15, 16-year-old. Snob. Like, I'm too old for Pokemon. That's a kid's game. I've been kicking myself for 30 years. Now, Magic has not been a slouch. I just went through all the cards I have here with me. I've got a bunch at my parents' house. Ooh, I messed up. See, this is what happens when I'm not paying attention. So there are rules for how these books work. You see how it ends at Bulbasaur? I broke my first rule. Let's go down. So let me explain the rules to you. So there is only allowed one Pokemon per page. So even if like here's Bulbasaur to Ivysaur, I want to be able to leave room for new cards. You should tell me what sets I should get and what cards I should really be on the lookout for. I'm just starting with Bulbasaur because he was number 1. Bulbasaur was the first Pokemon in the Pokédex. I literally went by Pokédex order, and I'll show you what's on these cards. So I found a giant index of every card ever printed, because I did not make that. Somebody else made that, and that man is amazing. That person is amazing. And I need to be treating my binder better. I am sorry. So please don't judge me. It's a brand new binder. I just got it in the mail a couple days ago. And so here, let me show you what's on these cards. So I have my own. So at the top, you'll see 2 numbers. Here, let me put it here. So at the top, should be able to see 2 numbers. See, like this one is 60 over 3107. So this is a 60th card in this set. The name of the Pokemon, the set it comes in, its rarity or variant. So this is common. You'll see 61 is the 4th print, uncommon. There's the reverse hollows. There's all that stuff. There's rares, there's the SIRs, there's the art cards. It's all that. That way I know which one is which. It isn't just a set. And then under it is the index number. So this guy went through and he indexed all the cards. Now, I didn't take all the cards. And if you want, let me leave a message in the comments or the chat or wherever you are. If you want, I will share a link to that. I found it on Reddit. I will share the link to the Reddit post and a link to the file. So I went through and I used another program to find, I basically just searched each Pokemon. And it was difficult because let me show you. Erica's Ivysaur took me a few times of finding, so I had a little bit of trouble doing it because it only wanted to find just the full name. And so it took me a little bit of time to find those, so I put it together, and this is the list I got. And so I then removed, because I can't fit jumbo cards in here, I removed all the jumbo cards. If I come across a jumbo card and it's cool and it's already in a sleeve, and I can kind of just put that in the binder in the back, I will. But otherwise, I'm just going to ignore the jumbo cards. There were a few other cards I ignored. I'm up to 73. If I break my Stream Deck pushing this one button 3,000 times tonight, I will be happy that I did this all in one night. Let me know what your favorite starter is and what games you started on. So I am currently loving Legend ZA. I am playing. I haven't really had the time because a bunch of personal stuff happened, and I haven't had the time to play the DLC and really get into it. And I also find the whole donut thing kind of complicated. And when the games start getting complicated, which they do in the DLC, and I get why it wasn't in the base game, because the base games are always fun, and I had a great time playing the base game. I loved it. I actually went back because I hadn't finished Scarlet and Violet. So I went back and finished Scarlet. And then I did the DLC. I kind of ran through the DLC of Scarlet. And that was not fun. And then I got... Oh, these did not separate by... Well, let's stop it at Venusaur. So I ran through the DLC for that. Was not my favorite thing to do. I got bored rather quickly. And then the grind for the final DLC, the Indigo Disc, was just it would have been one thing, but and I'm told if I did it with online as a group, it was more fun. I'm not the biggest fan of playing online with random people. One of my favorite games used to be The Division 2. I still like the game, but playing online with people, randoms, is either really, really frustrating for me or a lot of fun. And so I kind of didn't want to play. Plus, I'm playing Scarlet years after it came out. The people on it, I got so many fake, speaking of fake cards from my nephew, I got so many counterfeit Pokemon. It was ridiculous. I traded one to a friend who needed one, and he got super pissed off at me because it was counterfeit. So he couldn't use it, and it was one of the ones that couldn't breed. So I didn't know it was counterfeit. I just thought I got really lucky. But then I realized if somebody's sending you a shiny, perfect IV Pokemon, it's probably not real. Nobody loves you that much. Or at least nobody loves me that much. I don't know about you. I don't mean to talk about you. Nobody loves me that much. I mean, my wife loves me. My kid loves me. Nobody loves me enough to send me a randomly a perfect IV, perfect 6 IV, shiny, legendary. So, pseudo-legendary, whatever you want to call them. But I still played with it. Even though it was fake, I still played with it. Because so long as I didn't compete with it, I can't... It was Iron Hands was the one that I really, really enjoyed playing with. I mean, it's a lot of fun. There was the... I got him up to level 100. And then I just went to town on 4, 5, and 6-star raids. Those 7 stars were a little bit hard. Alright, I will open up the first pack for the first. I've got 3 English packs and 3 more smaller packs. I will open up an English pack for the first person to join the stream. Come on, YouTube, hear me talk and bring people to my stream. Whatever. This is not the room. This is not my full-time room. I have an office in my house. That I am Charmander starts. I forget. I can look it up. Mega Venusaur. There you go. Oh, yay. 50. Let's get it up to 125. I've got an office in my house that I use for my other work, and I just made space today, but I did not have the table, and I wanted to get started on this project because I wanted to get started last week. But, life happens. Toddlers get sick, and all that fun jazz. So, let me see if I can give you a better shot of this. Please don't come out of order too bad. Good, they didn't. So yeah, I spent, So you're going to ask, why are these cards so small? These cards are so small because I printed them. I took them to a printer. I didn't want to do like the 9 on a page because it's expensive. And I thought I did the math well enough to get these made just a little bit smaller than a card, and I could get it printed on, rather than A4 paper, which is the regular size paper, A2 paper, which is what happens if you take two pages and put them next to each other. And I thought I could get a lot more cards on a page. The guy, I'm pretty sure, then proceeded to print on A4 paper and cut them for me, which is why they're so small. So I could have, and that took a full day. So I could have waited a full day, and in hindsight, and I'm pretty sure he would have had me still pay for it. So I didn't want to pay for a bad printing, because I'm sure he would have said, oh no, I printed it on the right paper, because you can't really tell the difference, even though this does feel like, sorry for that, thinner paper than I requested, but at the time, these were wrapped in plastic, bound and wrapped in plastic, and there was no way to tell. So at the time, you couldn't tell. But, all right, I know I'm not getting this done tonight. Do you think, though, I would be able to get Do you think I'll be able to get everything? Not everything. Do you think I'll be able to get this binder done in the next hour and a half? Let's find out. Welcome to my stream if you're just joining. If you're not, thank you for being here. And if nobody's here, it's just me talking to myself. So, yay. I'm going to stop talking for a few minutes because my voice is starting to get a little yucky. And it is late where I am because so this is not the first time I tried streaming, and I'm not bullshitting anymore. Sorry for that. I am not BSing anymore. I'm not vamping anymore. I had a previous life as a U.S. Army public affairs person. I was a morning radio host. I was a radio host for almost 2 years in Daegu, South Korea. Of every job I've ever had in my life, I miss the work. Don't miss the job necessarily, but I miss the work. I miss being a radio DJ, morning radio host for the Army. It is different from anything else you'll ever do, you could ever think of doing in your life. You're not a normal radio host. Today, the kids are like, oh, I'm DJ this and that. We weren't DJs. We were Army soldiers with a microphone. When I have a members only, and I have members only, I will tell you my joke that I used to tell about being about being public affairs in the Army. But it was a lot of fun, and I miss it. Oh, this screwed up. Okay, I gotta double check something. Hold on. Did this print wrong? What are my other books here? Snivy is 21. So Snivy's at the end. This is 7, 8, 9. Nope, wrong book. Sorry. So my book, I'll show you in a minute what I'm doing. 22. 2182. Good. All right, so I'll show you. Here, and I've got to cross them out. It's fine. I'm just going to make them white. I'll white them out. As you can see here, let me see if I can put it on my phone. You can see better. Ooh, nope, because my microphone is in the way. There you go. Let me show you. So here, it adds the Venusaur and Snivy, even though I already have them on the previous page. See? Interesting. It only has 4 of them. This also was supposed to include the set number, but I screwed up. It's on my big spreadsheet. And I could go back and have them reprint everything, but maybe I should. These weren't that expensive. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I'll go back through. So, oh, no, this is the binder I want. And so I put these little tabs for each one, so you can see. And now we are on 170 Charmander. Let's update the list down here. And I misplaced 170. It fell. I see it. No, that's not it. It's around here somewhere. That is the first edition base set Charmander. If you want me to open, as I said, I will open a pack for the first person who comes into my chat. Comes into my stream. Just say hi. Don't make me feel all alone. On my own. Okay. I don't want it to get any weirder than that. Oh, I forgot to update this. Let's go up to 180. I'm at 130, 141, 155. Almost there. 180. So I said I used to I said I used to play in a bar. And it wasn't just a bar we played at. I also, for a short time, after I got out of the Army, while being an English teacher, because what else is an American supposed to do in Korea? If they're not in the Army, they're not working for the U.S. government, and they don't speak the language, they teach English. I was also running a foreigner bookstore and cafe. That is, I have to say, if you asked me to choose what I love more, running the cafe or being the Army DJ, I'd have to wait about a week before I could answer. I would need to go talk to my rabbi, talk to a priest, shaman, go to the desert on a excursion to really find myself, because I, honest to God, could not answer that question. So there are a few cards in this binder specifically that make me regret doing this. The Charizard line, Charmander line, while there are not many Charmanders, I mean, there are a lot of Charmanders, there are not that many of the second evolution, which I actually know very well because he was my starter. Actually, Squirtle was my starter, but the next playthrough was my starter. Why am I blanking on this? Charmeleon. I knew that. Oh, because it's also late and I'm tired. And I am not a fake fan. I am a real. I'm a real boy. I promise. And that could have been why I didn't have anybody on my stream, because the last 40 minutes, I've been having an echo that I forgot about because I had one of my microphones on my camera turned on. Because I'm smart. I need to listen. Let's just be quiet for a little bit. How it's done. Uh-oh. Okay, 2 of 3. Somebody in the chat tell me how long I should stream with 0 followers before I give up for the night. Just try again in my morning. And I can play somebody else's stream in the background. Because this is incredibly lonely. I'm so lonely. I am so lonely. Okay, I'm done. Okay. Yeah, no, it doesn't have an echo. So I'm going, Charmeleon starts on page number 260. All right, so let's just, Charmeleon started, there are 100 Charmander cards. So that's why this is, there are more Charmander cards than there are cards for several full generations. I think there are more Charmander, let's put it this way, there are more Pikachu cards than there are for, I think, at least one, if not 2 generations. Give me a second, I can double check that. I don't know what I just did there. I'm not finishing these binders in the 3-hour time window I thought I was going to. I have been at this for 45 minutes, and I'm not even at 250. So, Pikachu, the whole Charmander line, because Charmander, Charizard, Charmeleon. See, I know the evolutions are super popular, and that's super great, except for the fact that because they're so popular, there's so many cards. And this is what I mean. Oh, that's out of, what happened? Oh. Something happened where my things got out of order. Yeah, my cards got out of order. That's super weird. I went through and I counted these twice. So, these should not have happened. I got really lucky there. Sorry, I'm just trying to find where Charmeleon begins. 240. 256. Instead of by tens, I guess I should have done these by 269. Get low, get low, get low, get low. Well, I really hope you guys are enjoying my stream because I am. Let's go through these first 500 cards. Which honestly, so the first 500 cards in this set are just the first 2 evolutions. Charmeleon, Charizard. So Charmeleon starts and somewhere. 338. And I believe, because there are, so I go from 338 450, and still going, 460, 470, 480. Sorry, I'm not doing this on screen, and I should. Squirtle starts at 497. So 339 to 497 is 100 and 60, 60, 59, 58, 57. 157 Charizards. So if I would just do just Charizard, that would take me to the first. That would take me to Radiant Venusaur. I feel like people are going to think that I'm a poser. I'm really not. I'm just tired. Now, Pikachu is, I think, give me a second to find, here we go. Pikachu starts at number, somewhere around the 850s, 840s. Yeah, between the 840s and the 850s is when Pikachu starts, and it goes all the way to 1,126. So that is, there are 330 Pikachus at the last printing, which is why I'm not really looking forward to the next set. I mean, I really very much am. But this next set has so many more Pikachus, which is one of the reasons why I've actually saved, because Charmander is so popular. The reason why there's over 1,000 spots left in this book. Even though, as you can tell, like, you know, I left some, but there are about 5 or 6 pages, because after Charizard, I leave 1 or 2 blank pages. Let me double check that. It's right here. Excuse me. After Charizard, I should have left a blank page, but it's not in here. I think I left mostly a blank page. Then after Pikachu, it's the rest of the book, because they are probably 2 of the most reprinted cards and popular cards. And those 2 are going to cost... There are cards in there that... there are cards in the Charmander and Pikachu sets that are going to cost more than one of my binders. I would say more than the second binder if the second binder didn't include Greninja, which is also a huge favorite, and that was what it was. It was, I think the 4 I was choosing were Squirtle, Eevee, Greninja, because I'm basic, and Meowth. No. Yeah, Meowth for the cats. It was either Meowth or something else. I can't remember the top of my head. And I realized, hey, 3 of these 4 starters are 3 of these 4 are starters. What if I just did all the starters? Now, I'm hunting for these. I'm not hunting like an animal. I'm hunting like an old human. And by old human, I mean like Neanderthal human. I'm going slow and steady. This race will be won through endurance. This is not something that is going to be done this year. It's not something, I doubt it. And because it's a Pokemon game, I will probably need another binder before the end, full of placeholders, before the end of the year. Because there are so many new sets coming out every other month. I am actually looking forward to Ascended Heroes. It's a lot of fun. I threw away a lot of money, and by threw away a lot of money, I mean I bought 4 ETBs. I'm going to open 2 on stream, save 1, and I think I will give 1 away if I ever get the chance. If I ever get a follower. If I ever get people, I will. If I don't, I will save it. I'm going to open at least 2 of them. I bought a bunch of other stuff that I shouldn't have. So the other thing, so on this channel, I'm going to be doing the binder update. Telling you how it is. I'm going to be doing short vlogs of when I go to the city and game stores around the country I live in and around the world. Because I also have another podcast and YouTube channel called Landings and Layovers, where my friend and I, he is a travel expert. Leisure travel expert, and we talk about travel deals and tips and everything. And so we had this idea. Our daughters are old enough that they can sit by themselves. They can entertain themselves. Well, maybe not my daughter, but still. And they're good enough that we can take them. And so him and I are going to do a father-daughter trip abroad. We haven't quite decided when or where because we both have some family and personal stuff coming up, and I've got this project. But I'm going to do some while we're doing this father-daughter trips abroad. And Charmander's done. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We are up to 268, and Charmeleon is. Ooh, where are you? 269. I need a new switcher. Lovely. Where's my mouse? So somebody was asking why I included the Ditto. I just saw the Ditto card. Because it is the only non-card we will be taking. Oh, crap. And did my stream just end? No, it did not. Sorry. I accidentally clicked off of the stream. I need to learn how to get better at that. So we're going. How's this? When I finish Charmander, I will open. When I finish Charizard. So that is in, well, 230 cards, roughly. I will open up a pack. I have been really good about my discipline and not open packs. I have so many. I was not really good about discipline about not buying packs. About buying sealed product instead of loose packs, but tax where I live is like 20% on everything, not on everything. It's so expensive. It's so bad. I got my GIFs. Here, let me show you my other one, because we are the Hungry Binder. Turn off the Happy Binder. Chomp, 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 chomp. Should be playing that more often. And the Hungry Binder's just sitting there. He's happy. He's getting fed. Yes, it's paper. It's like an appetizer. It's not a full meal. Charmeleon. So my guidebook is also going to be a little different because I've got a couple other cards in here. And I'm a little bit pissed off at myself for not realizing these don't have the set numbers. I will have to go back to the printer. I'm going to reprint the books with the actual set numbers. That was a mistake on my part. I think I'm just getting tired having the process go through. I forgot to take the set number from the master list that I used when I made these cards, when I made the book. So I'm gonna have to go back through. Yeah, you can tell that he just printed these on this paper because they're the same size. That's a shame. He didn't print the folder I told him to. He probably just printed that paper on A4 and charged me for A2. So I'm going to go to a different printer because I'm kind of pissed off at him, come to think of it. And if I wasn't 300 cards and almost an hour into the stream, I'd stop, go back and say, hey, you're a cheat. But we're only going to stream for about another 20 minutes because it's late. Ah, crap. But I will, in 20 minutes, open up a first pack. Whether I make it to the end of Charmander, I will not. So one thing I'm really looking forward to is my wife loves Lego. And I kind of like it too. She likes buying Lego. I like building it. She used to like building it, but then we had a couple fall and break, and then she got really bummed. So now she likes to build it less. She still likes to buy it. Let's take the pack as a placeholder because Squirtle fell. So I need to just sort Squirtle by itself so that way it doesn't fall. Oh, there's Wartortle. It's weird. This whole thing, my piles got really messed up at some point. I think I was just really tired when I built them. Oh, I see. Oh, no. No, no, no. I am... So Wartortle starts 5. 560, 561, 562. Oh, not bad. There are a lot of Squirtles. Wartortle is so much shorter. Wartortle and Blastoise. Blastoise is, I have to say, I love Squirtle. I am less in love with Blastoise. I am also less in love with Wartortle. I get why in the first generation show Squirtle did not want to evolve into Wartortle Blastoise. I don't blame him for that. But he is by far... I get that they're firefighters, but... And the fact that Blastoise is not a steel type. Water steel. I feel just like, look at him. He's a tank. He is a war machine. If nothing else is steel, how is Blastoise not steel? Even his Mega, I was really pissed that his Mega I don't think was steel. It's just water. One day somebody's going to have to explain to me why grass starters get, for the most part, the short end of the stick, except for Masquerada, who is my most recent starter in the mainline game. I did choose Chikorita for Legend ZA because even though Squirtle's my favorite, I am a grass starter stan. I do love them, even though, and I am a little bit pissed that fire starters get most of the power, I mean, look at it. Cinderace. Let's just look at the last two. Let's ignore Legend ZA. But firefighting is just broken. Well, it's not broken. It works exactly how it's meant to be. It's meant to be overpowered. But it's meant to be super strong, especially in a combat sport. So 849 to 6, yeah, that's about right. To 1,126. That's about right. So yeah, we're going to have fun with this. I'm probably going to take some of these to my wife in a little bit if she's still awake. Be like, hey, babe. Sorry to interrupt your Candy Crush game. Yes, she still plays Candy Crush. Do you mind? I mean, look at this. This is the Squirtle generation. I'm going to show you. Maybe on the other one. Wartortle and Blastoise. Next to Squirtle. Let me see if I can show you on the phone. Can you see? Squirtle is not much bigger. The Squirtle whole generation line is not much bigger than Charizard. It's ridiculous. Charizard has so many cards and promos. So this has everything except for, and I'm also only doing English cards. Somebody looked at me weird when I told him that. He's like, "Oh, I've got all these Japanese cards." I'm like, "Do you know how hard it would be if I were doing English and Japanese?" It's already, you know how much more expensive it's going to be if I did English and Japanese? It's already, I could buy a house or three with the cards I'm buying, with the cards I'm going to have to buy or trade. So the whole point of opening, somebody else was asking me, if you're going after just starters, why are you opening up packs? One, it's fun to hunt for dopamine. Two, it will give me a pack of this for however much it costs. Let's say with my taxes and the country I live in is overpriced and borderline, even distributors or scalpers. Let's say it's $8, $8 to $10 a pack. If I open up a $30 card that I can trade for a $30 card that I need for this collection, then I just save myself $10 on a card that I was going to spend $30 on. Now, odds are I'll spend that $30 on a different card, but okay. Now here's where it is. Here's my rant. I am switching to the face cam for this rant, and I'm looking right at the camera while I say this. I do not believe pack openings are gambling. I believe, now, there's a caveat to this, and I will get to that. I believe any store that sells packs, modern packs. Now, I'm not talking about old packs. I'm talking about packs that are within the current set, within the current block, within the current year. Sets that are still in print should be sold at MSRP. I don't care if you are a card store, a bookstore, a Target, a game store. I said an LGS. I don't care what you are. If the product, no matter how popular it is still in print, it should be sold at MSRP. Now, if something is out of print, that's different. We're not going to talk about that. That does not apply here. If something is still in print, it should be sold at MSRP plus tax. It should not be, oh, it's super popular, it's here. Because here's the thing. And so I wrote my master's thesis on Magic the Gathering. I'll talk about that on another stream. If you want to know it, please let me know in the comments. It was actually a really, really interesting topic. I looked at now it also was, while it was really cool and really great and really profound, it became irrelevant the day I sent it to the printer. And I will tell you that story. I am finally onto Charizard in another stream. And I will also share my thesis with anybody who wants it. Please share it to the world so people read it, because it is actually pretty good. Now, in hindsight, I realized after I was done, there's a lot more I could have done. And I think because I got it in Korea and I checked their boxes, the content didn't really matter as much as the execution, which is what my school cared more about. How I did it rather than what I did. But it's still good. Anyway, that's another. And when I was doing it, the idea of one of my advisors asked how I was not talking about gambling, because gambling is kind of weird in Korea. Koreans can't do it, only foreigners can. Don't look at me. I didn't make the rule. I didn't come up with the rule. I just, Anyway. I need to update this. I am almost 100 above where I should be. Let's cheat. Alright. It's not working how I want. Oh. Now it's counting down. I needed to count up. It was counting in the wrong order. So I was saying, um, yeah, gambling. So gambling is why is it doing that? Okay, I'm gonna remove the counter because the counter's not working. I'm gonna remove the counter for now. And I'll bring it back another time. Anyway, when these companies print these packs and sell these packs, they sell it at a set price. To them, a common, basically, and Magic also it started pissing me off when they got away from this, and I'll explain that as well. A energy card, a resource card, to the printer, to the publisher, has the same value as a super duper ultra mega rare. It costs them the same much to make, in theory, and to them they all cost the same. So to them, whether you open a because and they I severely screwed up, didn't I? All right, I'm putting a sticker on this page and coming back to it. How did I screw this up this badly? 37. I'm also missing 38. That's how I screwed it up this badly. All right. And yeah, I'm all over the place here. Okay, so I was saying, because so I can clip this for whoever. According to the publisher, each card and each card price is worth exactly the same amount. So, an energy card is worth the same amount as the new Mega Lucario. It is the secondary market that puts the price, the expanded price on the card. That is not the fault. So, it's not gambling because to them, and basically to me and you and to players as well, if I'm playing the game, the card should cost the same. So, there are times when I've been playing Magic that a land was a lot more valuable to me than the $25 card in the deck. Because I needed the land more than I needed that. But that's besides the point. So that's why it's not gambling. I don't believe it. Now, when a store sells it at above MSRP because of the value of the cards. So, because there is a $700 card in the deck, when the store starts taking that in the secondary market into the account for the pack, then it becomes gambling. And that always upsets me. That really upset me when other stores did it. That upset me when current stores do it. And there are stores that I don't go to around the world because they do that stuff. Because they take, and when I asked him, he's like, because you could open, I asked this one guy, and he said, because you could open a $700 card. Because you have the possibility. It's the same thing. It happened kind of with Lord of the Rings. When a store I really loved, started selling the Lord of the Rings packs at inflated prices because the One Ring was a one of one. Oh, you could get the one of one ring. So, and because that's a priceless card, I'm going to... damn it. He actually told me because it's a priceless card, he's going to charge more for the packs. And I stopped buying from him. Because that's dirty. That is gambling. That is... and because he was selling it to kids, too. And that's getting kids gambling. Because it literally is, you're paying more for the chance to win more. And that's not what opening packs is about. Opening packs should be about... I want to make sure I'm not completely screwed up. Opening packs should be about... Oh, that's the other reason I screwed up. This is missing Charizard. I'm mad at myself. That's why I screwed up the whole count. So 39 goes here. I'm missing another one here, but I'm sure I'll find it eventually. Double check. So that's why I don't think it's gambling. And give me a second and I'll go back to the beginning. I know where the 38 is. I wonder how badly I screwed up. I might just end the stream here because I'm so mad at myself right now. Because I was talking to you rather than paying attention. Alright, so 301. This is supposed to be 322. So which one? Oh, these are all out of order too. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There it is. Here's 338. This is what screwed up the entire order, and now I gotta go back through 3 pages. Super fun. Super fantastic, right? Alright, let's get the rest of these out of here. Alright, so let me give that whole rant again when I'm paying attention. The people who make the card games, to them, each card is the same price. No card is... No card is worth more than any other card. A Fire Energy is worth the same price as... is worth the same price as a as the Mega Lucario X, which I'm hoping to open. Oh, here, I'll go back a page and I'll show you what I did wrong. When stores start charging more because there are super expensive cards in a pack, that is what upsets me. That is what turns it into gambling. It is not inherently gambling. I truly believe that, and I actually wrote a whole thesis basically saying that, proving that. But yeah, that's what it is, and that's why it's not gambling. Now, yeah, and it's this running joke that there are reports at Wizards that they don't acknowledge the secondary market, and when Wizards and Magic started to print or sell higher value product above their previous MSRP because, and they quote, power level, one, they're acknowledging that they're screwing up their power level, that they're acknowledging that they're screwing up power creep. And two, they're also saying because there are more expensive cards in these packs, we're going to charge more, which then says, hey, these things are more expensive. They're also, when they started doing collector's packs for a lot more money, it was the same thing. Did I screw up? Yes, I did. I should not have put that other one in there. It was the same thing. And I'll show you what I did. All right. I was missing 338. I put 338 here. I also put some of these down here by accident. I put 338 here, which set everything off by 1. This is why I have the book next to me. This is why when doing this, you shouldn't be talking on stream for an hour. But guess what? I'm dumb enough to do that. I don't even know exactly how long I've been streaming. Where can I tell? Stream health. Excellent. It's not telling me. Oh, whatever. So I'm going to stop in a few minutes. Thank you for joining me. I think I've earned this pack. I am going to open, not Battle Styles. Let's open Journey together. I've heard good things about it. And when you join me next time, it will have all the good money cards in here. Okay, good. You can still see. I had to teach my nephew how to open up a pack. He was really going to damage the cards. I have no idea what is in here. Hold on. All right. I'm going to pull out. I did not change anything, I promise. I just don't know what the pack thing is with these sets. Okay. Just checking because I want to do it with you guys. I wasn't looking at the cards, I was looking at the set symbols. All right. Green Energy, Mr. Mime, Durant, Morgrem. I can never say his name, even when I play the game. Galarian Stunfish. I'm not a fan. That is the worst one. In Stunfish, in Legends EA, just kept hitting me. I was trying to do something, and it just kept interrupting me. Alolan Golem. That guy. Io's Electric. Now onto the shiny. Ooh, okay. Shiny. Is that reverse hollow? Reverse hollow. And Hops Zancian. All right. I will see how much this costs. But, so, I like Legends. I like Legendaries. Let's take a look at this. Oops. I love Legendaries. And so I also, along with this collection, I'm going to be collecting Legendaries. So this is what it is. I did not get any starters for this thing, but thank you for that one person who joined me. I appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Bye.